how a deadly virus and a tweet resurrected the bipolar world. BRICS, that's an acronym defining Brazil, Russia, India, and China. That was the hottest geopolitical phenomenon in the noughties. It was coined by Jim O'Neill, the Goldman Sachs economist. It was in the chaotic aftermath of 9/11. It was then widely believed that Al-Qaeda's attack on New York's Twin Towers in 2001, followed 7 years and 4 days later by the Lehman collapse in 2008, that had dethroned America as the king of the world. The unipolar world had given way to a multipolar one in which BRICS, and this time the plural small s had given way to the capitalized S in 2010 because South Africa had joined the foursome. BRICS would relegate America to a sort of mere first among equals. In fact, what was called the rise of the rest got cemented when the next three biggest emerging markets, namely Mexico, Indonesia, and Turkey, they added to the heft of BRICS, putting these 7 new economic powers ahead of the traditional G7 advanced economies. And that happened in terms of GDP, which was measured in purchasing power parity or PPB. Now, this multi-polarization of the world, it gathered momentum through to 2016 as the Chinese and Indian economies, they recovered and they accelerated, while America and Europe sort of lumbered in the slow lane. There was much bonhomie between China and India with, invocations of the spirit of Ahmedabad and the spirit of Wuhan. Of course, that was before Wuhan became infamous for unleashing COVID-19. And, all of this bonhomie that sort of strengthened the urge in the world for multipolarity. There were some creeping fears about China breaking away from the pack to become a hegemon, but, nobody was really that alarmed. Then, President Donald Trump scripted a shocking victory and made a very disruptive entry into the White House. He turned America inward. Either he was pulling out from or he was weakening America's leadership of global alliances. From climate change to Iran to NATO, America signaled quite an unexpected retreat. At the same time, President Xi Jinping, he was accumulating vast powers and ambition in China. So he struck an aggressive alliance with a militarily resurgent Russia. He used China's, awesome economic muscle to penetrate dozens of third world economies. Unfortunately, around the same time, India's economy began a rapid descent, with GDP growth falling from a robust 8% plus to just 4%. And therefore, galloping alone, China was soon emerging as a new pole in world politics. Then the COVID-19 pandemic struck, and that caused mayhem across the world. Almost every country was devastated by double-digit GDP contraction, except China. China, which controlled the virus and managed to grow at 6%. So it was only a matter of time before multipolarity died a natural death. Its dirge was sung in the first week of July 2021. On the 1st of July, President Xi abandoned diplomatic niceties. He almost pranced around like an unbeatable Bollywood hero who single-handedly destroys a gang of 20 thugs, and he shouts, "Dishum, dishum, ek ko chun chun ke marunga." He of course, he more accurately did say that whoever tries to bully China will face broken heads and bloodshed in front of the iron Great Wall of 1.4 billion Chinese people. In, of course, a very cruel irony, just a few months earlier, this imagery was brutally on display as dozens of Chinese and Indian soldiers had bludgeoned each other at Doklam. But on the 1st of July, President Xi was clearly doing a disproportionately aggressive tit-for-tat to NATO's missive, which reprimanded China, saying China's stated ambitions and assertive behavior present a systematic challenge to a rules-based international order. Xi had chosen the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party to very angrily hurl and stake his pole on earth. India responded with a stony silence without even a perfunctory greeting on the 100-year celebratory milestone. Then, 3 days later, on the 4th of July, Prime Minister Modi sent a very warm, cuddly tweet to President Biden on America's 245th Independence Day. And he said, as vibrant democracies, India and USA share values of freedom and liberty. Our strategic partnership has a truly global significance. So with one stroke, the multipolar world was struck down. BRICS became, almost as much of a vacuous, meaningless showpiece as NAM, the non-aligned movement which India had tried to spearhead during the Cold War as the third pole. It's now China, Russia, and their satellites in the red corner, and a quad of democracies led by America in the blue corner. And despite, outer trappings of a professed neutrality, India is now effectively aligned. What was fragmented by a few hijacked aeroplanes in 2001 has been resurrected by a deadly virus in 2021, because welcome to the new bipolar world.